The word poltergeist is German for noisy ghost or noisy spirit, and you normally associate a poltergeist with a haunted house case, like the Enfield poltergeist or the Black Monk of Pontefract. It's the age-old story of a disruptive phantom making its presence known by banging on walls in the still of the night, overturning furniture, and on even rare occasions actual physical harm and manifestation, all the classic traits of a haunted house. But you don't normally hear of a haunted garden shed, or at least I've never come across a haunting of a wooden garden shed full of random tools, gardening equipment and clutter of spare parts. But that is exactly what 72-year-old Stephen McKeers from Severn Beach in the UK believed was happening in his garden shed after he experienced some strange activity. Every day Stephen would leave his shed in the stereotypical unorganised messy way that most men do, organised in absolute chaos. A mess that most men will tell you is organised mess. And the very proud man of that shed will tell you he knows exactly where everything is. So you can imagine the pure confusion Stephen experienced one day when he returned to his shed to find his messy worktop had been organised and tidied up. All these little nuts and bolts and bits and pieces that he left out the previous day on his worktop were all neatly placed away into a tub of bird feed that he kept just to the side. As you can imagine, Stephen thought this was very strange and even began to question his own state of mind. He was worried he was becoming forgetful in his old age. It was only when it was suggested to him that the shed must be haunted by some kind of neat freak ghost that he decided he needed to obtain some visual evidence. And so, with the help of his neighbour, he set up a trail camera, scooped up a handful of nuts and bolts and other random pieces and scattered them all over his work surface. He then locked up and returned to his house for the night. And that night, whilst he slept, the night vision camera caught something amazing. Between the hours of 12 AM and 2:30 AM, in the dead of night, a creature entered the shed without opening the door or making a sound. It was simply just there, and once again, the nuts and bolts and bits and pieces made their way into the box of bird feed, and before the sun came up, the creature had simply vanished. The next day when the sun came up, Stephen ventured out into his garden and walked down to his shed. He unlocked the door to find that once again, everything had been neatly placed into the birdseed box. He grabbed the camera and went back to his house to review the footage, and what he discovered totally took him by surprise. When the video starts, you can clearly see the random objects on the worktop, and then the creature appeared in the shot. It had big eyes that burned bright in the night vision footage. It had a long wiry tail and two rounded ears that poked out from its furry head. And it was small. It was very small. It was a tiny mouse. The video showed a very cute, adorable mouse that seemed to be totally obsessed with tidying up the messy worktop, picking up bits and pieces in its very small paws and placing them very carefully into the tub of bird feed. And he did this for nearly 2 hours. He even tried picking up objects that were almost twice his size, and when he had finished clearing Stephen's mess, he simply disappeared out of the shot and vanished into the night, as quiet as a mouse. So if you ever suspect that your home may be haunted by a very tidy poltergeist, remember, even the most strange examples of unexplained activity isn't always paranormal, and you might just have a mouse in your house.